Joseph, YouTube, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So guys, recently I released a video titled in the thumbnail, The Masculization of ASAP Rocky. Now, that was based on this cover from Vogue that was being shared everywhere, which depicted Rihanna in the forefront and ASAP Rocky in the back, like holding the baby. And the way that they placed her and him and the child and the whole family, which, you know, great looking family. But the way that they placed them really sent a subliminal message if you didn't catch it. Of course, Rihanna was in the forefront. She's that rich boss babe. Rihanna was in the front being depicted as a sort of center of attention leader and the masculine energy in the photo, while ASAP Rocky was in the back holding the baby, right? He looked more like the mother in the photograph in Vogue. And most people agreed, but a lot of people also said, hey, you know, ASAP isn't being depicted this way. In fact, he's kind of always been this way, wearing dresses and kind of just feeding into that feminized physical appearance and also his mindset. And the fact that he's dating Rihanna and allowed this, I guess, speaks to a lot of those comments. And I don't disagree with that. I think people have a point when they say that. Now, after I released that video, I also saw a post by Boyce Watkins. If you're unfamiliar who he is, he's a finance expert. He has a PhD in finance and really focuses on black wealth. I have my disagreements. I strongly disagree with Boyce on a lot of topics. But on this topic, he shared this post that I agreed with. It was a post of the African Renaissance Monument in Dakar, Senegal, and Rihanna and ASAP Rocky, and the contrasting difference between the portrayal of black men or the man in that statue versus this picture of ASAP Rocky and Rihanna. And the caption of the post read, "Who we used to be versus who they want us to be." And so, of course, he's talking about the media portraying black men in a more feminized nature instead of what most black men would want, is to be painted as masculine. Now, the question is, do you believe that there is a deliberate effort to feminize the black man in specific in media? I would argue that's the goal for most men, but black men in specific have been targeted. And I think that's for many reasons. If you look at the African Renaissance Monument in Senegal, Africa, and you try to describe the man in specific, you would use phrases like strong, protector. I mean, it's a huge monument sitting at around 164 feet high, taller than the Statue of Liberty in the USA. And if you try to describe ASAP Rocky and how he's depicted in this Vogue magazine, do the words strong and masculine and leader fit that description? I don't think so. And so the question here is, how did the people respond when Boyce Watkins shared these two photos and kind of like comparing them? Comparing these two together? Well, his audience, majority of his audience disagreed. Now, I also think this post he did went viral. It was picking up in popularity, and other people maybe didn't follow him were getting tagged and people were giving their own opinion. But from the looks of it, the majority of people who followed Boyce Watkins disagreed with him, and they sided with being okay with the Vogue magazine. And I think that's largely attributed to Boyce's stance on how black men should approach dating in today's modern day. Boyce shares the opinion that black men should take responsibility of their lives. But not only that, because I agree with that. The other thing he says is black men should wife up single mothers. Is there plenty of single mothers? He acknowledges that. And the only way he sees out of the situation of the single mother epidemic is if black men who are childless take responsibility for men they did not create. And that's where we draw the line. That's where I'm not having it, and where I highly disagree, which is a lot of the issue he probably had with like Kevin Samuels, etc., and did some disrespectful things. But that's not what we're here to talk about. In this situation, we're here to address how did his audience respond. Let's check out a few of these comments and see what his audience had to say. First commenter here says no, ... So she starts off with saying no. So I'm assuming she disagrees. She goes on to say, we were never that, with a shoulder shrug, thinking the only way is for a man to lead and a woman to follow is Western way of thinking. This woman is insane. But again, the fact that she follows Boyce lets you know that like He's good at what he does. But Boyce sort of set up his situation that when it comes to topics like this, he can't be honest with like intersexual dynamics, issues with men and women, masculine, feminine energy. Why? Because he calls men to take responsibility to a fault, to suffer for the consequences of other men's actions. And the question is why? It's unnatural to that man's biology to want to take care of another woman's kids. He thinks it's as simple as, oh, I did it, so you should do it too. That is unnatural, the same way that a lion, it's unnatural for him. He'll go and actually kill children from another lion if he takes on a new pack. Zebras do the same thing. They'll cause women to like delete their children, right? All animals in the animal kingdom try to ensure that their family line continues. But he accepts that men should be masculine, take the responsibility, be protectors, but he doesn't accept that men refuse to clean up another man's mess. Anyways, and so he has women like this on his page. This chick goes on to say, that's not our culture. So she's talking about black people. Never has been all the way to Africa. This is lies. I just got back from Africa. I was born in Africa. She's telling lies. What are you talking about? Women in Africa are a lot more submissive to their husbands. Men do take charge. It is well understood. She goes on to say that's only been taught by society that caters to white supremacy and patriarchy. There's actually nothing more masculine than a man who is an active father. What I see is a man who's loving on his beautiful son and allowing his woman to be the star she is and is secure in that. And that makes him more of a man than 99% of y'all angry, bitter black men always trying to say everything is an agenda. So keep in mind, this chick says a woman can lead and a man can lead, which is true. Technically, yes, but that's not the question. What strong society uplifts their women more than their men? That's the bigger question. How do you build a strong society of well-capable fighting men who are not going around protesting, begging for money, hoping that someone's going to save them, but who are going to get out here, work, build businesses, and save themselves? Another comment here says, at least the picture isn't another absent black father. So she's moving the goalpost here, basically blaming black men. Obviously, these women don't drink coffee. I hate coffee. It's so strong. Another comment here says, so many ways to unpack this, and y'all chose to be negative. So another chick here disagrees. Nothing about this man is a housewife. Let's be clear. He tours and has a fan base of his own as well. If y'all can't handle stepping back while your woman gets shine for her accomplishments, just say that. Just say that, she says. Boyce Watkins did leave some comments here that I want to read. He says, I'm happy that Rihanna knows how to perform and make lots of money, but I wouldn't take a picture like this. Making a man look weak is like making a woman look ugly. No woman wants to be on the cover of Vogue looking ugly. He also said, important for men to know how to be supportive without being disabled. You're her partner, protector, and support system, not her son. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Another commenter here, Adam, says, you're reaching. This is a woman's magazine featuring a woman. Please stop. I don't know. There have been plenty of men who've been featured on the Vogue magazine. Another commenter here says, we don't know their household, but we can take a pretty good guess. She goes on to say, just because they did a photo shoot where Rihanna, in parentheses, a global star, is more in focus doesn't mean that he doesn't lead his family. We need to celebrate black families and black love because there's way too many baby daddy and baby mama scenarios that dictate the norm in our society. Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you think A$AP Rocky leads the household? Do you guys get that vibe? Do you guys really get that vibe? Another commenter here says, so because my wife makes more money than me, that makes me a simp? I'm a stay-at-home father that's saving my family a lot of money in daycare costs, food, doing all the care, repairs, etc. I don't get what you are trying to imply by using this image. So the problem with guys who make comments like this is they are the exception. There have been plenty of studies done that prove that women, in majority of situations, when they are the breadwinner, especially when they get promotions in jobs, that contributes to the likelihood of those women initiating divorce. Again, the exception does not make the rule. If we're going to tell men what to do, they should improve their financial status and avoid being with the woman who makes money more than them. Because more times than not, yes, that woman will view you as a simp. Not me, not the man who respects you for what you're doing to help out. It may logically make sense in your mind. Her nature, in most cases, will go against what you see as, hey, I can be the woman too. Hey, I can stay at home. Another chick here says, what if the woman doesn't want to be a housewife and doesn't have a desire to cook? Is the goal partnership or heterosexual norms? Yeah. Again, Boyce's audience are the type of people who uplift single mothers above men who are more responsible and don't have kids outside of wedlock. That's his audience. That's his audience who caters to black women who have children outside of wedlock. He doesn't call them out for it at all. And you got to think of the mindset of those type of men and women who are like, black women are queen, you know, just lifting up black women, no matter their actions of their past and mindset, which is why you're seeing this reaction from his audience. Another commenter here says, this isn't emasculation. It's the cover of a woman's magazine about a black woman billionaire who has a self-made millionaire husband who is a present father. Calling it emasculation is an amazing leap. Another commenter here says, female commenter says, y'all need an image to trigger y'all. Meanwhile, black women have been leading the black family for decades. Well, how's that going? How are black families promoted that are being led by single mothers, please? Because I know what the stats say. In parentheses, she says, not saying I agree, but the image is a reflection of reality. Okay, so should we promote it? Should we celebrate that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Here's part two, because Boyce, one thing about Boyce that's, you know, respectable is he never backs down, even when he's on some BS, even when he's on some delusion, and he's been on some delusion before. He clapped back with another photo that says, nah, there's no agenda. Black men aren't being effeminized through imagery. And it showed an Asian couple, right? Man and woman, and the man is very masculine here. The other one showed a man and a woman, and the woman is very feminine. The man is masculine. Even looking at the photo where the woman is standing up, she doesn't overshadow her man. Another one here shows a man shaving, a woman, you know, right behind him. Next, a man in the front. You see different races. Another one there with the couple on the beach. And then you have Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. And that's how the black man in that specific magazine is being painted. And so what did the people have to say? Let's see. This commenter says, is this really the biggest issue we are facing? So it doesn't want to address the situation. By the way, this was the top comment. He goes on to say, or is this the militias, I think that is, that are 40,000 members strong, training for a race war with the question mark, or maybe mass incarceration, or the lack of ever reading anything written by black folks, or our lack of connection with the African continent and diaspora. I'm just not convinced that concern over this magazine cover is the most pressing issue. Yeah. Leads you to know that they don't care about male issues. So this next commenter says, to be honest, not really. So he's like, not really. Like, I disagree. I still disagree. Because all the covers, he says, you just posted on what's written on the front, it was either about them as a couple or the man in Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's case. It was clearly all about Rihanna. Now, if it was about both of them, then yes, it would be a problem. Boyce also commented and said, weak black men are safe to society. Even the thug stereotype is safe because it's a form of entertainment like a lion at the zoo. The world fears black men when we are strong, focused, and intelligent. That's why they don't teach your kids about Marcus Garvey. Another commenter, female commenter here says, again, the covers match the subject matter. Rihanna was the focus of the Vogue article. This chick goes on to say A$AP and the child didn't have to be on the cover. This is a photo that does not mean or imply he is a weak black man. You are implying that. Now the commenter here says this cover shows strong black women who don't need a man. So this guy actually agrees with Boyce. One person out of his followers. He goes on to say it portrays the idea that he needs her. Another commenter here says this is a man. What about the stereotypes that black fathers bail all the time? Maybe the king gets the queen and doesn't mind holding a baby. Another chick here says, find a better example to prove your argument. This is reaching. And people are obviously emotionally tied to this situation. Why? Because this is an artist that people like. I myself enjoy Rihanna's music. I enjoy her music. But I cannot deny that this depiction of the both of them does make A$AP Rocky and black men look weak. But as always, guys, curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Let me know. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.